Sometimes you think you've got your day planned out, but then you stumble across something and it leads to a completely different turn of events.
Our plan was to make a video about the vegetable market in Almolonga. Now that's a town south of Quetzaltenango or Shella. And unbeknownst to us, there was something much more than just market day going on in Almolonga. We got caught up in a festival that we knew nothing about. We couldn't have planned for this. And this festival was one of the craziest things we've ever seen in our lives. The plan for this video changed drastically. Instead of it being about a vegetable market, it's about this crazy festival that we got swept up in. Market day was kind of like a normal affair. We got some footage of that, as you've already seen, and then we started noticing some people walking around, kind of dressed a particular way, and wearing these wigs, kind of made out of rags, and wearing some wooden masks, and holding whips. Kind of as the morning went on, we kind of stumbled across a festival.
This festival is the annual celebration in honour of the feast day of the Black Christ of Escipulus, and it's held on the 15th of January throughout Guatemala. However, here in Almolonga, this is the only place in the country where the tradition of the Saleyudos Dance takes place on this date. Locals don masks and wigs and carry whips. The dance is comprised of participants yipping and whipping each other. To a soundtrack of marimba music, which is performed live from the back of a pickup truck. So what's the dance representative of to the people of Almolonga? Well, it's a show of faith and penance, and it's a way of thanking God for having health, work, family, and life. Now we should also point out, all of the participants in the Saleyudos dance are male. Not for the most part, for a lot of it, it is an alcohol, testosterone fueled festival.
That's right, not all of them are drinking.
Not all of them are drinking. And we do have to point that out. So it's kind of this face-off with each other. It's almost like this show of bravado. Almost this kind of sense of machismo that goes with it. And it's this whole, like, you know, arms folded across the chest, like, yeah, come on, take me on, take me on. And that was what you saw an awful lot throughout the whole thing. It was just this showiness amongst them.
Being that the alcohol was involved, from what we saw, they were kind of policing themselves. So there were a few instances where maybe somebody had slighted somebody else and tensions kind of flared for a bit, and then other guys from this festival would just kind of intervene and break up everything. So if you think about, like, you know, whips, wigs, masks, a little bit of alcohol, some testosterone thrown in, you think shit is going to hit the fan. But from what we saw, it didn't. And people were very kind, because we weren't the only people just trying to make our way through this whole melee. There were young families, there were old couples with their shopping who had also got caught up in this event. And for the most part, everybody was very sweet, and they were aware of the fact that we were trying to get through.
Hundreds of lads, all up and down the street, whipping each other. So You're basically
what could go wrong?
You're basically doing the same as any other spectator there. You're trying to find a doorway of a shop that you can huddle into together to basically not get hit by a whip. Obviously, you can't just stay huddled in a shop or a doorway of a shop for the entire day. So you do have to try to make your way from A to B to get to your next destination. So a few of the lads were actually pretty good, you know, they were keeping an eye out, and you know, if they saw people just trying to like scurry down the edge of the street avoiding the whips, they'd stop like their foes, whatever you want to call them, from slamming down a whip at that point in time. But it really can't stress to you enough like how difficult it was to kind of make your way up and down the streets, because they were everywhere. It wasn't just like, you know, one main street.
No, they were.
They moved about throughout the entire day, so they'd be on like small little side streets that then they kind of took over the main street. They were everywhere, and there were hundreds of them.
Hundreds.
It wasn't just like, you know, one or two. And we were made so welcome by people. Again, you know, they were so forthcoming with trying to explain what was going on to us. Yeah, people were really sweet, like, you know, just other spectators and some of the lads themselves, and it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
We were very fortunate to stumble upon this event here. And aside from the whipping festival, for lack of a better term, there were some events that were going on at the church as well. I don't know the significance of the sawdust carpets, which you see right here, but we've seen that throughout various parts of the year. Easter
is a big time. Semana Santa, especially here in Guatemala, Semana Santa is a big time for them, laying out the sawdust carpets throughout all of the country, from what I know.
Yeah, this is these very elaborate I don't know, kind of pathways that a procession will carry on over these sawdust carpets, we'll call them that for lack of a better term. And just as quickly as the procession goes over them, from what we've seen, these sawdust carpets are then cleaned up moments later, sometimes after the procession has gone through them. So this particular day in Almolonga, again, was the Cristo Negro, or the Black Christ Festival, for lack of a better term. And they were bringing the Cristo Negro out of the church in Almolonga, and there was some sort of pageantry and ceremony going on. And various representatives from the town of Almolonga were taking turns kind of parading this Black Christ through the courtyard of the church.
Yes, it was really fascinating. There was like this juxtaposition between what was going on in the church grounds and what was going on beyond the church grounds. So within the church grounds you had this order and pomp and circumstance of the whole festival and the cofridas, and everything was just so organised. And then just beyond the walls of the church grounds was the chaos of the whipping festival. And by chaos I mean like just absolute chaos, like the noise of the whips getting cracked, the
yelling,
the particular cries that they had towards each other for the whole whipping thing. Really interesting, yeah, just fascinating, just the difference between these two facets of this festival, right in the same town.
We couldn't have planned for this at all, and we're so lucky to have stumbled upon this festival and to be shown nothing but kindness from not only the people that were on the sidelines observing this, but also the people that were participating. We were lucky. We didn't get whipped. I will say that at a few points in time I did feel kind of like this rush of air as we were kind of trying to get through the melee, and didn't actually get whipped, but I mean felt the presence of the whip just pass by me, and I'm sure other people got whipped as well.
Oh yeah.
But people at this festival were extremely welcoming. We stood out like sore thumbs, but everybody welcomed us to this event, and it was absolutely amazing. And there's so much more about this that we don't know. We can only tell you what we have found out, and we can only show you what it is we experienced. But this was an incredibly inclusive event, and we were part of that, so very lucky.
So we should point out, this feast day is January 15th. So if you find yourself in Almolonga on January 15th, and you see some lads walking around with wigs on their heads and 20-foot whips in each hand and some masks,
it's all good.
You know what you've stumbled upon. Yeah, for us it was just, that was it. We stumbled upon it. This was a complete surprise. And it's just another one of those things that just makes travel so special. Sometimes you walk out that door in the morning and you've no clue what that day is going to hold.
Right.
We certainly could never have anticipated that day. We'd no idea. We thought we were just going to get you a bit of footage of some giant-sized carrots and broccoli and cauliflower, which we did. We did.
And look what else we found along the way.
Yeah, and then there was this.
It's important for us to give a passing nod to Almolonga's produce. It's for this reason that we showed up in town anyway. We aren't sure what makes this produce so special, but it's likely a combination of the fertile soil and whatever farming practices are used. Simply put, this is some of the best looking produce we've ever seen.
We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you found it as fascinating as we did. Again, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
That's right. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you know somebody who will enjoy it, please share it with them. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell for notifications when we release videos just like this and videos similar to this.
Yep. If you're enjoying the kind of content that we're putting out there, please subscribe and share it with your friends. If you've got friends or family members that you think might enjoy this, just something that's a little bit different, please tell them about us.